Welcome back to Chits and Cardboard, and you came in a great time because this is our top 10 board games of all time.
Yes.
We have just posted our top 20 to 11. This is our top 10 to 1. These lists are completely objective. There is no room for debate.
No subjectivity.
So you definitely can't comment below and tell us why we're wrong.
Totally we're right. This is science.
Science rules. Anyway, comment below if you disagree with us or if you agree with us. If you like this video, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the fun stuff.
Let us know
we'd love to hear your favorite games. So please let us know. We want to celebrate hitting 500 subscribers. So thank you to all of you who've been watching, subscribing, all that fun stuff. We're going to be doing a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. So once we get there, it'll happen. Just stick around and for the journey. And let's crack into it. So, Jeffrey.
All right.
What is your number 10?
Okay, so my number 10 is, I think you're going to get this pretty quick. We don't know each other's lists.
We don't know each other's
lists. If you haven't seen the 20 to 11, we don't know what each other are picking at all.
And we don't have the games here. We're just going to throw in some art and some B-roll. And this is the first time we're doing it like this. We hope this works with you guys. Anyway, number 10.
So I think you're going to get this pretty quick because you like this game, and I will be surprised if this is not on your list. I think this is going to be a crossover game. So it is an open world exploration game. You are trying to redeem yourself as a person because you are a little wretched and you have been kicked off of your ship.
You've been a naughty boy.
You've been a naughty boy, and you come up on an island and you're basically exploring and doing a bunch of stuff to try and vindicate yourself. That game is Vindication.
So
so Vindication is a glorified cube pusher at its heart. It is a Euro game, kind of like a little bit of an RPG, and you're just exploring this island and trying to do a bunch of different tasks to realize your full potential. It's fantastic. You're grabbing companions and recruiting them to your team. You're hunting down monsters. You are finding really cool relics that you can use that have a bunch of charges and cool abilities. It's so good. One of the coolest things about Vindication is that you have all kinds of different endgame conditions, and as people go up the score track, more get revealed. So it's a game that can last about 2 hours, an hour and a half, something like that at a higher player count, but you could end the game really, really quickly. You could flip one of those endgame and then the game just cards, and it just ends right away. But yeah, Vindication, it's fantastic. If you haven't tried it, try and get it to your table. It's so much fun. I know you love this one too. So yeah, that's my number 10 to start off our 10 to 1.
Great start. My number 10 is not a hard one to guess, so I'll just almost out with it. It is the best board game of all time according to The Geek.
Oh, okay.
And it is Brass Birmingham.
Brass Birmingham. It is a great game.
Brass Birmingham is like it's just so gritty, so thinky Euro game. You are basically building up the industrial era of Birmingham with some card play, building some facilities like production and like coal and iron and beer on the various locations. You are producing goods, trade goods. You're producing pottery. You're doing that kind of stuff.
Pottery scores you so much.
Pottery scores you a lot of points. Building routes. So the game is played in 2 ages. The first age or the first era, it's canals and using canals to get stuff around, and then you start building like coal railroads.
Yeah, which is how it was done back in the day. So it's cool.
It's really fun, super thematic. It's great at any player count. It plays really fast and like compact at 2, and then at 4 it becomes a sprawling like competition for locations. I just love it. Anyway, Brass Birmingham, my number 10.
Great pick. Absolutely great pick. Okay, so my number 9. Let's look here. Okay, all right. So we have another crossover. That's good for us because we're going to have a little bit less B-roll to shoot, even though there's still going to be a ton. So this is creeping up there to be one of my most played games in the last, I'd say 6 months or something like that. I've been playing it a ton. I love playing it on the table. I also love playing it on Board Game Arena. And it is a racing game. It is heat pedal to the metal. I love this game.
Love it.
I'm not going to go into how it's played in super detail because John's already covered it.
And we have a review.
Last video. Yes, we have a review. Like John said in our last video, this is probably, in our opinion, like a perfect game. It's not necessarily, we're not saying it's the best game in the world, but it's totally up there. But it's just so well designed. So well designed. The AI system is something that is one of my favorite things about this game, because it doesn't matter whether you're playing with one, like solo, it doesn't matter if you're playing with two people, there's always a full track of cards. It's always tense. The AI system is so easy to use. You're cutting around those corners, you're trying to manage your heat, you're trying to go as fast as possible, but you're trying to not spin out in those like close turns. It's just so much fun. It's so tense. I've never had a game of this, no matter whether I've been in the back of the pack trying to creep forward, or I've been up in front trying to just keep ahead of everybody who's coming behind me and hope that they don't draft around me. It's just fantastic. It's so good, so much fun. Pick. I'm probably going to play it another 3 times before the end of the weekend. It's great. So yeah, that is my number 9. Heat Pedal to the Metal.
It's a great pick.
It's sold out everywhere all the time.
It is sold out everywhere all the time. Yeah, like
which is why I don't own a copy.
Oh, it's so good. My number 9 is also a crossover.
Okay.
You've already said it in the last video. It is a game about area control, area majority, and more importantly, political influence in 1800s Afghanistan.
Okay, yeah. You're going to describe this better than
that is PAX Premier Second Edition.
So good.
PAX Premier Second Edition is great. It's one of those games I feel like it's so simple to teach, and then someone just tries to play it and they're like, whoa.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because it's like it's
it seems like less than it is.
Like the entire game depends on cards you're purchasing from a market with a very limited pool of money. And the challenge of this game is, with the money you have, with the position of cards, telegraphing when the card that not only has the instant ability, but the actual written ability you want is going to come in the market. It's just that entire dynamic is just wild.
Oh, like so much.
Kudos to Cole Worley for thinking of just that entire logic puzzle. It's nuts. Like it's ridiculous. That's not even including the historical significance of the game. The fact that it's like, again, he's a history major. I'm pretty sure he's like a PhD of history or something like that. And he's put together just this historically accurate game with crazy flavor text.
It's so well done.
Yeah, it's so well done. The component quality is fantastic.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I love the linen mat that you play on. It's so nice. Yeah, that was such a good call. Such a good call. Good.
Anyway, PAX Premier Second Edition.
Yeah, PAX Premier is great. I think it would have been higher on my list if I had played it more, because I'm still wrapping my head around that game. It's really easy to get into, but man,
it's so hard.
It's so hard to master it. But yeah, great pick. Great pick.
I call it the game that you appreciate 3 days after you played it.
Yes.
Because you're still wondering,
that is
like,
100% accurate.
Anyway.
First time I played it, I was a little lost, but then I was just thinking, I'm like, I want to play this again.
Yeah, that was my number 9. PAX Premier.
Okay, so number 8. Okay, so my number 8. Okay, so this is another game that was introduced to me. I already knew about it, but the first time I played it was with Adam and Shayna. Shout out to you two. Thank you for bringing it over. So it is, I think you already know which one this is.
Inish.
But yes, it is Inish.
Yeah,
Inish. So Inish is a card drafting area control game set in kind of a medieval-ish or even pre-medieval, medieval, a Gaelic setting. The artwork is amazing. The card drafting is awesome. There's only I think there's 16 to 18 cards. It changes depending on the player count.
Sure.
But you're drafting cards every single round to make up your hand, and you're trying to make really, really, really tight decisions to try and gain control in this map and essentially become the king of Inish. It's so good. You can win by just having so sneakily by having one person from your clan in 6 different locations. Like, it's just it's so good. I love this game.
I have some issues with it. I like the game. I think that it's a little too king-makey for me, maybe.
It
has the Oath problem for me. I love Oath. Don't get me wrong, I'm about to get a lot of hate. I love Oath, but it's just a little king-makey for me.
I haven't tried Oath yet. I hear it's amazing.
But yeah, I get it. Inish is a good pick.
Inish is great.
My number 8, I'm losing track of my own list because I don't have numbers next to my stuff because I'm stupid. So my number 8, you're right, it is number 8.
Yes.
My number 8 is another Vital Lacerda game.
Okay, another game that I need to play.
Yeah, it is a worker placement. Every Vital Lacerda game is kind of an order fulfillment game in a different wrapper.
Yeah.
This wrapper is you are navigating a rocket between a planet and space, attempting to not terraform, but build up this planet to be self-sufficient, and that planet is Mars. This game is on Mars.
Yep.
So the special sauce of this game is there's 2 sides of the board. The board's split in half. There's the Mars side where you're on the planet, and then there's the space side where you're on the space station. In the space station is where you go to get resources from Earth, that kind of thing. And on the planet is where most of the game happens, where you're building various facilities, you're gathering professionals, gathering scientists, that type of thing, moving your rover around to do cool stuff. The game is just so brilliant because it forces you early on, you can switch between Mars and space a lot. Therefore, you don't have to worry about resources and planning ahead and that kind of thing too much. You just kind of coast.
Yeah.
But later in the game, when you travel to space and back, it happens like every 3 rounds.
Okay.
And you're placing worker, like it's just, you have to think so far ahead if you need to go to space or not, and when you need to go to space and timing that move. And also,
seems to be a trend
planning
with
around,
these games.
you can get blocked in certain locations. So planning around, like you want to do a whole bunch of these actions, but there's 4 people on the planet right now. So like, are you even going to be able to place workers in these locations to do various things? Because there's cost to that. Like, if you place a worker where someone else is, it costs you an extra worker and they go into the quarters. If there's 2 people there, it costs you 2 extra workers. And there's a whole puzzle like that. Anyway, I love on Mars. I love like the cooperation of it all because technically you're all working together. So when you expand a building, you get the bonus of all the previous buildings, even if you're not.
That's really cool. I like
but
that.
then later on, when you draft in like technologies and various like buildings you can build on, like you advance these buildings into something more special.
Oh, nice.
Advanced buildings.
Nice.
You score those independently, and you get bonuses for doing so, etc. Also, there's again like various types of scientists that give you bonuses that are only for you, and it's just great. I love Vitalis Lacerda. I love On Mars, and yeah, that is my number 8.
This is the Lacerda game that I am most drawn to thematically. I'm excited to try this, so we should play that. For my first one, it should be On Mars.
No, it shouldn't.
No?
No, YouTube's gonna agree with me. No, you shouldn't play On Mars.
Okay, all right. Tell me, guys, which Lacerda game should I play first? Gallerist apparently is the easiest to get into. John mentioned it in your 20-11.
Yes.
So check that out if you haven't seen it.
Number 7.
Yeah, number 7. Okay, cool. All right, so number 7. This is a sci-fi game.
Okay.
It is my favorite deck builder. Yeah, it's also a very, very good negotiation game. That game is Moonrakers. Moonrakers, I have my copy finally coming soon. I have ordered it along with Moon Rollers, which I believe, so if you want to get Moonrakers, it's on, I think, Kickstarter right now. I think you can do a late pledge.
Kit.
Yeah, it is backer kit, actually. You're right. Anyways, Moonrakers, you are basically a member of the Moonrakers and you're trying to become the new leader. You are a group of mercenaries who are flying around the galaxy trying to complete different missions, and a lot of missions you can't do yourself. You need your allies to come in, but to convince them to help you out, because everybody is out for themselves, you have to give up either victory points or credits or something.
Sure.
The negotiation aspect of this game is so much fun. I love negotiation games, and just as a deck builder, it's just so much fun. I love cycling through the cards. Moonrakers, I've just had so much fun playing it here. I'm excited for my new copy, and yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I like Moonrakers a lot. I think that the issue I have with Moonrakers is that it has kind of the Munchkin problem.
Okay.
Where like once you're getting to near the end of the game, people don't want to help you as much.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's part of the game.
It's always going to be a crabs in the bucket a little bit.
That is gloriously aided by the expansion, specifically Overload. But you need Overload, you need Nomad. I think Binding Ties is also really good. I think the whole game for me is building your deck to a point where you don't need anyone else. You can just cycle through your whole deck and then just finish.
And go for a certain type of mission that you've kind of like moved into and everything, and designed your ship around, designed your crew around, which is part of your deck and everything. But yeah, it's fantastic. So that is my number 7, Moonrakers.
Okay.
All right, your number 7.
My number 7 is my best game that came out in 2023.
Okay.
It is a 4X space opera Euro game.
Oh, yeah.
It is Voidfall.
This is a great game.
Voidfall, by way of our subscribers voting for our next review, will be our next review.
I'm excited. I want to get this to the table again.
It is a fantastic 4X space-themed Euro game. Basically, you are playing as a faction in space that has lost their influence because space has been taken over by Voidborn, this nasty, evil fleet that's all over space. They infect everything they come in contact with. Now all the houses have decided to fight back. You are one of those houses. You play the game over a few eras.
Yep.
Each era, you are performing various actions, which are outlined on cards. A card has 3 actions. You do 2 of them. I love that mechanic. It's really brilliant. And those actions end up resulting in outcomes that earn you victory points over time. Victory points come in the form of a default agenda you start with, as well as agendas you gain throughout the game. And then those agendas have various conditions you need to meet, which are the agendas of your people, let's say. Sometimes it's not even like expanding or fighting or whatever. Sometimes the agenda is like, have the most of or have many of this type of facility. We need food. Or something like that, right? But yeah, the asymmetry is really smart, done really well.
It's one of my favorite aspects of the game.
Yeah, the combat, the deterministic combat's really cool for me. I know Jeff doesn't like that as much.
Yeah, it's deterministic combat isn't always like my jam, but this game is fantastic. It would have been on my list if I had played it more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's mine. Voidfall.
Okay, so we're on to number 6.
Yep.
Number 6. Okay, so my number 6 is a game that it is an majority area control game. It's post-apocalyptic themed, winter themed. You're playing asymmetric factions.
Sure.
There's drones involved. And that game is
Divide
at Impera.
Yeah,
yes. I've been playing this on BGA a lot recently. It's an awesome deck builder, an area control game. You're basically working as a faction that is trying to gain as much scrap and control over the wasteland that you're operating in, and try and basically get the most stuff to give to the purebreds, who are this like caste in this world that are like ruling over everybody else.
Sure.
And you're trying to basically keep out all your opponents from the resources that you're trying to gather, and also just become the most powerful.
Makes sense.
It's so well designed. I'm about, I'd say, 8 plays in now, and I can't wait for my actual physical copy to come. I'm still waiting for it. I've only played it on Board Game Arena so far.
Okay.
You haven't played it yet. We'll do that soon.
Yeah.
Divide Impera, DEI. It is so much fun. Yeah.
Cool.
You're number 6, my friend.
My number 6. My number 6 is gonna be a crossover.
Okay.
It is a fantasy-themed worker placement tableau building game. It is about to be legacied by a sci-fi version of a very similar game.
Oh, okay.
And it is Dwellings of Eldervale.
I love this game. I love this
Dwellings
game.
of Eldervale is a game that has you operating as one of the elemental factions, let's call them.
Yeah.
In a elemental power universe, very legacy themed, where you are traversing the realms, gathering resources, building dwellings. That's the whole point in the various elemental realms, scoring points for those dwellings and building your tableau, gaining elemental power over time. The whole point of the game is to increase your elemental power in as many elements as possible, as well as build your tableau matching those elements and building dwellings in those elements to score a whole bunch of points.
Yep.
It's really smart, super snappy. My only drawback to the game is the combat, which I wish wasn't so random, but they've kind of done a great job in fixing that in Andromeda's Edge, and you can port those rules back.
Yeah.
But yeah, great. That is my pick. It is Dwellings of Eldervale.
It's a fantastic pick. It's such a good game.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. So now down to my number 5. Okay, all right. Well, I wasn't thinking that it was going to be this way, but we have a decent amount of crossover. So this was on your last video list, 2211. So this is one of my favorite thematic games and most immersive games.
Lockdown.
It is Lockdown. Yeah. Nemesis Lockdown. This game is so intense. It's so much fun. It's so hard. You're really scared. Hard. You don't want to go into the next room, but you have to go into the next room.
Heartbeat. Heart rate rising.
Heart rate rising. You're hoping that the other players around the table are helping you, but they might actually be working against you.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. It's so thematic. It's based on more or less, like, it's not the same IP, but it's based on one of my favorite movie franchises of all time, Aliens.
I'm in the pot, 5x5.
It's so good. It's so good. This game is fantastic. It's so well designed. It's card based. That's how you're doing all your actions. You're moving around, trying to fix different things. You're trying to make sure that everybody's able to escape. You're trying to either blow up the facility or not blow up the facility. Everybody has their own secret objectives. It's kind of cooperative, kind of like animosity based and competitive and everything. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. I can't wait to get to the table again. All right, sir, your number 5.
My number 5 is an action selection Euro game.
Okay.
It is widely touted as one of the best of that type of game.
Okay.
It is, you are a individual, or I guess a company, trying to build a zoo. Trying to make that zoo very attractive, trying to increase the ecological contributions of your zoo. It is wildly helped by its expansion, which is Marine Worlds, and that game is Ark Nova. So Ark Nova is fantastic. Ark Nova is basically this game where you have actions you can select to do various things, like build, gain or play animals, draw cards. There's also like research actions, that kind of thing. But anyway, every time you do an action, it moves to like the left of your board, and then the further right an action gets, the stronger it gets. So you're kind of planning turns ahead to like say, well, I want to do these 3 actions, then do this action when it's more powerful, and do this thing. And I don't know, it's fantastic. I don't know, I love Ark Nova. The puzzle of building your zoo while gaining your ecological score, while playing really cool animals that are fairly realistic, and the various species, and gaining like points for having many animals that are from Asia or from North America. I love like the educational aspect of it too.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then Marine Worlds, like my biggest issue with the base game was that Marine Worlds just like helps you mill through cards faster, because the base game you don't really get to see many of the cards. Yeah, that's my number 5, and it is Ark Nova.
Awesome. Great pick.
Thank you.
Okay, number 4s. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm expecting this to be a crossover. I will be surprised if this is not on your list. This is a deck builder worker placement game. It's based off of an IP that has become very popular recently in recent years. Yeah, it was very popular.
There was an RTS game made.
There was an RTS
just now.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah. So this is Dune Imperium.
Yeah.
Dune Imperium is fantastic. I think it is the first game that you and I may have ever played together.
It is the first game we played together.
Yeah, and it just blew me away. It's so well designed. I'm looking forward to trying Uprising. But yeah, basically you are representing one of the characters in the Dune universe, trying to get your house to head the control of the planet of Arrakis. You're trying to gain spice. You're trying to. It's basically a race to 10 victory points, which can happen quite quickly. But there's an area control aspect. It's worker placement. There's battling. There's deck building. Every action that you take and every decision that you make is so impactful for how the game plays out and how you pursue like your path to victory. Yeah. You're trying to gain favor with all of the different factions that are not playable in the universe. The Emperor, the Space Guild, the Bene Gesserit, and of course the Fremen, who are the native like species / like peoples of Arrakis.
Zendaya.
Yeah, Zendaya from the movie. Yeah, but yeah, it's just so well done. This game, you do not need to be a fan of the IP at all. It's basically just a pretty like.
I would say cool, the game got me into the IP, not the other way around. Now,
yeah, a lot of people that's happened. Yeah. But yeah, so that is my number 4, Dune Imperium.
Number 4, you say? Let me take a peek here, and I can count down now, so I know where I'm at. My number 4 is a crossover.
Okay.
My number 4 is a sandbox cube pusher Euro game. We've done a review of it, and it is Vindication.
Yes. I knew this was going to be on your list.
Specifically the Archive of the Ancients. You don't need the Archive of the Ancients, sorry. I mean, not specifically the Archive of the Ancients, even though that's the copy you're going to see in our B-roll. Vindication is great. Vindication is like as you'd said, a cube pusher Euro game. Masked as this amazing adventure. Where you are this like wretched being that got thrown off a ship, landed on an island that had people on it, and was like, I'm gonna make myself better. Like, it is super fun. The entire game can really just be summed up as you have cubes on your board. Some of them are active, some of them aren't. When you activate the ones that can be activated, they end up being a color. You can combine colors to do things. That's like the game, but the wrapper of the game is really fun. And if you buy into it, it's great. And
it's great.
The various things you're doing, from slaying monsters to gaining relics to acquiring traits, all the abilities are super cool. The art is super cool. Orange Nebula did a great job producing this game.
It's so well designed.
Also, Chronicles, the expansion that gives everything story, is fantastic. Guilds and Alliances expansion, the one that gives you like alliances on different guild tracks, is really cool. You don't need all these expansions to play the game. The base game is great with just the modules, but the expansions are also really well thought out.
There's so much variability in this game and replayability. It's crazy.
Yeah, also the component quality is really high, which I'm a fan of.
Definitely.
The cards look really cool, so like this cool like slice. I don't even know, like the cut of the cards is really cool. They're square, but like they have like this like like divot in the middle. I don't know. They're great. You'll see it in B-roll. It's great.
Yeah.
That is my number 4. Vindication.
Vindication is a fantastic game.
Fantastic
game. Okay. We're on to number 3s. We're getting close to the top.
Top 3. This is your bronze medal
medal game. Bronze medal game.
All right. Get after it.
Okay. So this is a social deduction game.
Sure.
It's the only social deduction game on my list. Okay. It is themed. You already know what this is, or I'm just going to jump to it. This is Blood on the Clock Tower. Blood on the Clock Tower is probably the best designed social deduction game ever.
It's so good.
It is fantastic. John and Sandra have hosted many parties so far. Well, a few parties. We're going to be having them quarterly. That's the plan. This game is so much fun. We have had board gamers and non-board gamers alike join us to play this game, and it's just so intense. Everybody is trying to find out who the demons are in the village who are killing everybody every single night.
It's also chaos. Like,
it's chaos. Everybody's running around the house.
It's funny how much nobody has a clue.
Nobody knows what's going on.
Like, even like towards the end of the game, sometimes when they figure out who it is, it's like complete luck.
Yeah.
They're just like, I vote you for X arbitrary reason that didn't really matter, and like it just happens to be that
everybody stands up at the podium, which yes, a podium was made.
Yes, Sandra made a podium.
Yes, everybody stands up and makes an accusation and gets up and defends themselves and tries to get everybody to not vote for them or to vote for that person. Everybody gets together, they're talking, everybody meets each other for the first time, and you instantly know everybody's names, everybody's friendly with each other. It's such a socially engaging game and so much fun. Sure. Yeah. Number 3, Blood on the Clock Tower. If you get a chance to play it, try it. It's so much fun. It's some of the most fun I've had in this hobby. Yeah. All right. Your number 3, your bronze medal, John.
My bronze medal
I'm excited to see what your top 3 are.
What is the highest rated Lacerda game on my list?
And
the last Lacerda game, spoilers.
Okay, yeah.
That game is, awkwardly enough, just a day at the office. It is
my old job.
Kanban EV. The point of Kanban is you are designing and manufacturing cars.
Yep.
Basically, you are an employee at a EV factory.
Yep.
You will spend shifts in a day, either getting designs for cars, getting parts for those cars, assembling those cars, or track testing those cars. And you will score points for how effectively you do so. Now, the aptly named Sandra, which is also my significant other's name, but the name of the person who judges you aggressively in this game.
Shout out to Sandra.
Basically will come through the various departments and judge you on your efficiency, much like my life. As such...
Yeah, that's true.
As such, she'll, like, let's say you're in the test track, she'll come by and say, I don't know, in the testing track, you're not certified and you've been a waste of space, therefore you lose a whole bunch of points. Sandra's not nice in the game. She's nice in real life. She's not nice in the game. But the game is just great. Each week you meet, or not each week, but I guess after a certain number of cars are produced, you have this meeting where you get to show off to Sandra how great you are by like using speech bubbles to talk to various like objectives.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then after either 3 times of Sandra going through the main area of the board and visiting each section, or 3 times of the test track being ran by various cars, so that means you've produced something like 12 cars. The game ends, and then you get scored based on a whole bunch of stuff.
Cool.
So, I don't know, I love Kanban EV. It's my favorite Lacerda. It also makes the most sense as a Lacerda game in terms of like the progression, because don't forget, the order fulfillment of Lacerda games means you have to understand kind of like there's 5 steps towards getting points. And explaining it like, okay, first you get your car's design, then you get your car's parts, then you produce that car, and then you test that car, is really the easiest way for people, I've found, for people to wrap their head around what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe that's the one I should try.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a shot. Anyway, Kanban EV, number 3.
Cool. I'm excited to finally try it.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2. We're so close.
Silver.
We're so close. Silver medal. Okay, we have yet again another crossover, John. Yet again another crossover.
Okay.
All right, so this is area control meets worker placement meets tableau building. It is Dwellings of Eldervale. Yeah. This game, from the first time I played it, I would play this game every single day.
So would I.
I'm excited for its sequel, but I love how this game does worker placement, and I love the fact that you can battle with your workers.
Yeah.
That they're also your troops that are on the field of battle, and they all function a little bit differently. You've got your regular workers, you've got your soldier, you've got your wizard, you've got your dragon. The asymmetry of this game is great. There's so much replayability.
It's super minor, but also like a super big deal.
Yeah,
because like it's not just like the asymmetry of like, oh, I'm this faction which has a power, but also like I started off this color.
Yes,
which is really cool.
The whole point of the game, you can be. The first time I played it, I was so focused on the actual board itself and everything. I wasn't focused enough on actually going up the tracks, which is the entire point of the game. But it's so much fun. The asymmetry of the game. I love asymmetry in games. I love interactiveness. I love worker placement games. Dwellings is so well designed. You get so much replayability. It's so much value for money. It's not the cheapest game. It's around $100 price point, but there's so much in that giant box that it's shocking. Like, I was surprised the first time you broke it out that it was the base game, because there's so much content in there.
The storage is really great.
It comes out really well designed. So well designed.
The component quality is really high. The gameplay is really snappy.
Oh God,
the recalling of workers is kind of special. That's Luke Laurie's like sauce. He's done it in. He did it in Cryo. He's done it in Dwellings, and then he's doing it in Andromeda's Edge. But
no, it's great. I love the fact that there's giant monsters that are on the board as well that are going to rush you and charge into you. Like, it's just fantastic.
Can Andromeda's Edge come now? I want to play.
I know. I'm so friggin' excited for it. All right, so that's not my number 2. Dwellings of Eldervale. Anybody who's played it knows it's fantastic. On to John's number 2 of all time. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Silver award.
Yes.
My number 2 is a deck building worker placement game. Where the deck building dictates the worker placement.
Yes.
And the worker placement dictates a whole bunch of other stuff.
I knew this was going to be on your list.
And that game is Dune Imperium.
Yes.
Specifically with Rise of Ix, immortality can be included or not included. It doesn't change the position that much, though it is a good expansion. Dune Imperium is great. Dune Imperium is, without the IP, one of the greatest board game designs ever made. Paul Dennen deserves like all the kudos he's getting.
It's so good.
Now, I listen to a podcast that a couple friends make. It's called the Punchboard Cathedral podcast, featuring Kenan and Alba. And on that podcast, Alba has said that because the game is so dry to look at, she played it at 2 players and decided she doesn't enjoy it.
Oh, God.
Alba, this is your call out.
No.
You've messed up. I'm calling you out officially on video. We appreciate you. We love you. But you got to try this at like 3 or 4 players.
100%.
4 players minimum.
100%. It's so good.
Go listen to that podcast. It was a great episode. It was titled "The Games They Could Live Without," unfortunately. But Dune Imperium is great.
You're so wrong. I'm sorry, you're so wrong.
Check them out. I love that game. You've already said a bunch about it, so I just use it as an opportunity to shout out the podcast. But I love you guys.
Absolutely.
That's my number 2.
Well, I definitely approve.
Dune Imperium.
And
I'm sure I'm going to love Uprising too. I haven't tried Uprising yet.
I'm so excited to play that.
Dune Imperium with Rise of Ix.
Oh,
super great. All right, Jeffrey, number 1.
Okay, my number 1. Crunch time. And my phone obviously shut off right when I'm getting to number 1. All right.
Gold medal.
Okay.
The best.
So, I think we are going to have. I think we're going to have the same number 1.
Ooh, that's spicy.
I think we're going to have the same number 1.
Oh yeah, because you haven't said it yet.
Yeah. Okay. You already know
same time. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Root. Yes. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay.
Root is probably. So I.
Why do you love it?
I grew up playing Risk.
Yeah. Okay.
I grew up playing Risk.
What? Okay.
No, I know. Risk is not a well-designed game whatsoever. No. But I loved that. I loved it when I was a kid, when it was simple and everything. The asymmetry that this game brings to a tabletop, like every faction plays completely uniquely. Yep. Like it's considered one of the hardest games to teach and to get to the table for the first time. I don't either. The only time it's hard is if you're one person and you've only played the game like once or twice and you're trying to teach 3 new people.
One person needs to know how to play
One person absolutely needs to know how to play it, or you all need to learn it together as a group.
I agree.
But it is so worth it. Just the Woodland Alliance is my favorite faction. I love getting my supporters into different woodland clearings and just blowing up the whole place.
Sure.
Like, it's just so good. It's so good.
I think that the way it's designed is interesting because balance does not need to be pinnacle.
No, because
the players balance the game out, right?
Like, if somebody's running away with it, you pull them right down.
My favorite way to play this game is a hot take, but I love it at 5 players, which you can play with the expansions. I like playing at 5 players. It's chaos on the board.
Absolutely.
But it also helps the problem of people being able to like nest up until they get too big.
Yeah, true.
And it keeps people interacting, so it keeps people in check. The game doesn't actually take that much longer because there's more tokens to take off the board, therefore there's more points to be had.
Yeah.
But it plays super fun. The push-pull dynamic of the board at that many players is great. I also love it at 3 and 4, obviously, but I love it at 3 with hirelings a lot as well. Hirelings is a great expansion that just makes it playable at 2 players, makes it great at 3 players.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think I might prefer 3 with hirelings over 4, and I might prefer 5 over 4.
Yeah, I've never played it at 3 with hirelings. I'm gonna have to try that.
Except the Trash Panda. Screw the Trash Panda. Nobody likes Vagabond. If you play Vagabond, like, you're out of here. Goodbye.
Woodland Alliance forever.
Anyway, we appreciate you watching as always. Thank you for checking out our top 20 of all time.
Yes, thank you so much.
Specifically this video, our top 10 of all time. If you'd like to meet us in person and you're in the Toronto area, or you're coming to the event, we're going to be at BreakoutCon.
Yes.
BreakoutCon is at the Sheridan Center, March 15th to 17th.
Yep.
You can get early bird tickets in the link in the description at a discounted price of some sort.
Yep.
We'll be there all day playing games. If you're coming out, hit us up on Instagram at Shits and Cardboard. Let us know you're going to be there. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. Introduce yourself. Say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is our top 10 of all time. Man, what a journey. In my opinion, one of the greatest ways to start a year off for us on YouTube. We appreciate 100%. All the love we got last year. We appreciate hitting 500 subscribers. Thank you.
Yes.
And we'll catch you next time. I'm John.
I'm Jeff.
And you just watched Shits and Cardboard. Signing off.